We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
Bum bum ba da 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 dun dun da 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 dun. Start spreading the news. This is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show. It is May 28th. And it is Thursday. Can you guess where we're headed? New York, New York. We're in Pennsylvania right now, and we're off to New York City tomorrow, and we're so excited to go there. We have our New York Raw Food Expo, Yoga Expo, and I'm more excited about going to Liquiteria. And they have Norwalk juices. You walk in there, they have an entire commercial refrigerator filled with hundreds of Norwalk juices. The most nutrient-dense, syrup-tasting vegetable juice you can possibly drink.
Yum.
All right. You guys want tips? We're going to give them tips. Baby, I want to give them so much tips that they throw up. They are going to be begging me to take them to the farmers markets and show them all the balloon men. Yes. Tips indeed.
Balloon men.
All right. Whoops. Okay, so what you leave out of your diet completely without exception is the way to ultimate health. We talked about that yesterday. And there were some intermediate foods that I forgot to mention that are good for an intermediate diet that I've seen on many of these diets. I've studied many of them. A baked potato is not something I would want to eat, or if you're on a 100% raw food diet, you wouldn't want to eat that. However, someone on an intermediate diet, it's gluten-free. You don't want to put margarine or anything else like that on it, but it can be a good thing with like coconut oil or something. Now, if you're going to eat animal protein, which I don't like to recommend, you don't want to combine animal protein with any of these starches we mentioned today or yesterday. The quinoa, the millet, the wheat and gluten-free pasta, none of that stuff. Mixing meat and a baked potato or any starch for that matter is a disaster food combination, and it's not even like eating a whole food diet anymore. You're back to close to the standard American fun stuff. Now, food combining, when you mix raw foods, practically all raw food goes together. All raw food can mix well if you're not overeating. I mean, you might get a little more gas if you eat some fruit with fat, but, you know, it's okay. So food combining is mainly important, especially when you're dealing with cooked food here. And if you're going to cook, like on an intermediate diet, you could do steamed vegetables. That's all right. However, you do not want to cook fruit or fat or nuts or anything like that, because when you do that, it actually becomes damaging to the body. I don't know, baby, can you think of any other intermediate diet foods that people can eat on?
Rice. Brown rice.
Brown rice.
Brown rice. When I was transitioning from into raw, I would eat all kinds of rice products, rice cakes and rice papers. You know, these like round, paper thin rice papers that are used to make like Chinese spring rolls. They're like totally rock hard, but then you soak them in water for a few seconds and they get all soft. And well, the reason why I ate them was because I didn't like vegetables. When I first went raw, vegetables were like disgusting to me. So I would get these rice papers, and it was a way of getting myself to eat loads of vegetables, because I would stuff the rice paper with like tons and tons of spinach and all kind of different salad vegetables, and that way I would eat them.
Wow.
As a little tip.
Okay, so in America, rice cakes are more thick and they're like circular.
Yeah, that's rice cakes. That's one of the things I was eating. But rice papers.
Oh.
It's different.
Didn't you tell me you were eating like an entire packet of rice cakes before you? I mean, those things are huge. She piled down one of those and you were losing weight, and that was like your final thing before you went 100% raw was the rice cakes.
I was totally addicted to them. Yeah, I used to eat like a packet a day.
Wow.
And they're disgusting. They taste like cardboard.
And then you just dropped it and you went 100% raw.
Yeah, I just started eating flax crackers instead.
Yeah. See, some people, we were talking before, like it's what you leave out of your diet completely without exception is weight ultimate health. Refined sugars and processed starches are the most damaging foods to the body. Animal protein, we want to stay away from that because of what it does to the animals. However, from a scientific standpoint, it's not as damaging to the body as refined sugars and processed starches. And what happens is vegans and vegetarians, they eliminate the meat, and then they pile up on the food that's more damaging to them, the processed starches and refined sugars, and they don't do well. And sometimes people call me a vegetarian. I'm like, no, nah. So you got to understand what's really going on here, the underlying concepts.
I have a great tip for you. You might notice that here, Mr. Monarch is sporting a pretty turtle top today. We were recently visiting Ronora Lodge in Michigan, and their emblem is a turtle, and the universe actually delivered 2 live snapping turtles to us during our adventures there. We met so many animals. It was amazing. I met hummingbirds, possums, deer, turtles, frogs, all kinds of people. And the turtles, my tip is do not try to pick up a snapping turtle on her way to lay eggs. Even if she's in the middle of the road and quite likely to get hit by cars, she's not going to like it.
In fact, here's a clip right now.
I'm just remembering the logo for this land, for Ronora Lodge, is actually a turtle.
I don't know what he's doing out here right in the middle where the tire tracks are.
I'm glad we saw him.
Yeah, can you...
Well, can we move you, Mr. Turtle?
Alright, who's going to move him?
I'll move him.
Okay, I could do it if you want, but go for it.
I mean, I guess I'm just going to take him over into the grass.
Oh, he wants to say hello to you.
Hey. Oh, I guess he could be a snapping turtle, right? He might bite. I'm going to try and get him from behind.
I don't think he's a snapping turtle, is he? Let's see. Hi.
I want to try and pick you up and move you over so that we don't run you over.
He's a snapping turtle. Stay away from those turtles.
She was amazing looking. She was like prehistoric. I never met one in real life.
One of our readers asked me how much maca to take as a regular dosage. And it reminded me of a story that Angela told me when she was reading the new book Superfoods by David Wolfe. What had happened, baby? You were saying that one of David's friends ate so much maca he passed out?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much maca? Can you tell the story?
I think it was a friend of his who had never had maca before at all. And he gave him he asked him how much he wanted or something, and he said 4 tablespoons. And so it was something like that, and so he just did it, and he put it all in the smoothie for him, and the guy just passed out.
Why did he pass out?
I would think it was just overload. I mean, maca's really intense food. I don't usually use, a teaspoon would be a lot, and I've been eating this stuff for 3 or 4 years.
Okay, everybody. I haven't had maca in probably many months. It just hasn't happened. I mean, I'm not against maca. I like it. I think it's a very good product. I think I'm going to do an experiment. Within the next few episodes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I'm going to make a smoothie of 10 tablespoons of maca and see what happens.
Uh-oh. Someone's not going to be sleeping.
I don't know. I think I'll be able to handle it. I think maybe one of the reasons why David Wolfe's friend wasn't able to handle it is because he might have had a little bit of toxicity there. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that'll be within the next few episodes. That'll be a fun experiment. Now I've said it. It's got to happen. All right, everybody. We've got...
Angela Stakes.
And...
Happy Monarch.
And we'll see you tomorrow at the Raw Food World TV show.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.